Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast. I just want to start off by saying I have a Patreon page that I'm super proud of, and I think I've created a place where we could just hang out and play video games. I have 3 tiers, one for cozy and fun games, the other one for horror games, and another one for just both of the tiers put together. So if you're looking to watch one or the other, you can. Of course, if you want to watch both of them, both of the different genres, you also can do that. Yeah, so I think there's something for everyone, I think, on my Patreon page. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can check it out and become members. I wanted to do a horror video game page because, I not really into the horror genre, mainly because horror scares me, but yeah, now that I've watched all 5 Insidious movies, I'm not so scared of the horrors. So yeah, I've toughened up, and now I feel like I can play horror games. Easy peasy. So, yeah. Come and watch me play horror games. Like it's a walk in the park. Like I'm not scared at all. Famous last words. Another thing that I'm thinking of doing on my Patreon is doing live streams. I think I'll put that on the cozy tier. I don't really know how live streams work. If you choose what tier the live stream goes on or not, but I'll figure it out. Another reason why I've set up a Patreon page is so that you guys can help me do polls and help me decide which games to play on my YouTube channel. So then that'll be fun, because I was thinking I could play long form video games on my Patreon, do whole series of games on my Patreon, and then just do short little games on my YouTube channel. I think that's a good combination. Yeah, so I think if I do short gaming videos on my YouTube channel, then I can get them out a little bit quicker. So come on over to my Patreon. It's going to be a blast and so much fun. Become members so you guys can be involved in polls, live streams, and watch me not be scared in horror games. I won't be getting scared in any horror games here on out. That just doesn't happen. Also, a little note is that during October I will be playing more horror games than cozy fun games, I guess, because it's the spooky season, My spooky tier, they have names, I can't remember what they are, but my spooky tier will be a bit more active during October than the other tiers, I guess. I've kind of just done a redesign of my podcast thumbnails, because I just wasn't happy with the one that they were before. I'm hoping that the ones that I've now put up, they're the ones I'm gonna hopefully stick with. I've kind of been just mapping out how I want my Patreon page, because I just want it to be as good as it can be. I'm really proud of the way I've set up my Patreon page. It's really enjoyable. It like kind of make sense to me, and hopefully to you guys as well. I have a wish list on my Steam page of all the games that I want to play. There's like so many games that I want to play on my Patreon, and so many games that I want to play for my YouTube channel. Like I'm thinking for my YouTube channel, I'm thinking of playing Stray. Like I think I actually started that game several years ago and I haven't finished it. So probably just finishing Stray, really. Because the reason why I mentioned Stray is, so that's obviously a cat game. And I was thinking there's another cat game that's like a story-driven game. And yeah, and you play as a cat, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, I was thinking I might do that for my YouTube channel. It's a bit of a short game. Like I say, I want to play short games on my YouTube channel and long series on my Patreon. So, you know, if you guys have any suggestions for short games to play on my YouTube channel, please let me know in the comments below. That would be amazing. Started playing Creatures of Ava. That's an amazing game. Oh, the other thing is, so I don't know how I do this, but when I play games, I get to a certain point where I just get stuck. Like I don't know how to progress. Just because, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know what to do next in the game. Like, I don't know. When that happens, you guys can give me suggestions and, like, help me out on how to get to the next part of the game, you know? It's really kind of a team game in some way, you know? You guys can help me out with how to get to the next part of the game by just like leaving suggestions in the comments. I assume there's comments in Patreon, but yeah, like there's a comment area. That'd be good. And especially when I do live streams on my Patreon, you guys can actually live help me out if I'm just like stuck or I just lost in the game. I've been playing Coral Island, and that game is like super similar to Stardew Valley, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, Coral Island is so much fun. Like, I think some of the characters on there have like good stories, and there's more variety to kind of change your house about. It's quite good, quite great that in the first upgrade of your house is completely free, and that's like the best thing. I have plans for my island. It's not an island, is it? Well, it is an island, but I'm not on a separate island to the rest of the characters. I guess it's a farm. I guess that's what it is. Yes, you can have so many different animals. Like, I think you can have llamas or something. I'm excited. I see this game for, you know, the long haul. I'm gonna get addicted to it. As I was like getting rid of all the shrubbery on my farm, I was thinking, I wonder if there's like a website where I can lay out my farm, like plan my farm out of Coral Island. Like, there's a farm planner website that you could do for Stardew, but I wonder if there was something similar for Coral Island. I gotta plan these things out. But yeah, there's just so much more. I'm really enjoying the game, even though it's kind of similar to Stardew, but that doesn't bother me because they're both really great games. I'm keen as a bean for Stardew 1.6 to come out on Switch. I think they said November. I could be wrong. Once again, let me know correct me in the comments. I've been listening to audio dramas recently, and oh my god, I'm obsessed. I love audio dramas. I don't know what it is, like, it's like a drama for my ears, you know what I mean? It's so great, you know? It's kind of like, you know how people listen to like audiobooks or podcasts that are, I'm doing a podcast, but yeah, no, like they listen to like crime podcasts and stuff like that. I listen to audio dramas, full on stories, fictional stories. It's just like if you to watch a TV drama or like a Netflix drama, but with your eyes shut, you know? That's what it is. That is what an audio drama is. Like I've listened, I can't remember the name, but it was like a similar kind of storyline, I guess so. Kind of similar storyline to Downton Abbey. And yeah, that was one audio drama that I listened to. Another audio drama that I've listened to is, still can't remember the name. I'm terrible with remembering names. But yeah, another audio drama that I was listening to is about this truck driver, and it's just about her trip as a truck driver, and she kind of documents her journey. And so much shit happens. Like, I don't know, she gets pulled over, some kind of weird looking guy changes her stuff in her carriage for drugs, and without her knowing, without her realizing, and then so she's basically carrying illegal drugs in her truck without her knowing. Yeah, and then she stays at sketchy looking motels, and yeah, it's so fascinating. And I mean, I say she documents, I guess it is a documentation. It's not real, it's fictional. It's like a mystery. It's like a audio mystery drama. But yeah, I just find them so interesting. And the recent audio drama that I'm listening to is called Tower 4. And the only reason why I remember the name is because, like I just said, I've been listening to it recently. And yeah, that's about a fire watcher, or a fireman watcher, fire tower lookout watchman tower, fire lookout, fire tower. And yeah, so it's funny because I had been listening to this audio drama, and the first episode is a similar storyline to Firewatch, the video game. And yeah, so in the first episode of Fire Tower, the audio drama, it's these two people who, a man and a woman, they are two fire lookouts from like across each other, from like across the forest, so they can't see each other, but they just talk over a radio. And yeah, so then basically they like introduce themselves, make little funny jokes to each other, and yeah, and so then like there's some like sketchy behind the scenes kind of shit going on with the woman, and whether she knows about it or she doesn't, we don't know. And you know, the guy wants to investigate because he overheard a conversation on the radio about him, and he was like, the hell? Like, he's over listening in on a conversation that this other girl, this other person in the watchtower is having with her boss. So yeah, if you haven't watched any clips of Firewatch, I actually play it on my Patreon. So watch my Patreon, go to my Patreon and watch me play Firewatch, and yeah, you get like the general gist of this audio drama I'm talking about. And I mean, it's so great because in the, you know, the further episodes of Fire Tower, the story expands, goes off, like it's not really a part of Firewatch anymore. It is so good. It's so good. And I'm just thinking, boy, if only the writers of Fire Tower wrote Firewatch, because they could have done they could have done so much more to Firewatch. They could have added more storyline to Firewatch. Oh my god, it could have been so good. Most people are disappointed by the end of Firewatch. Spoilers ahead, the two characters are called Delilah and Henry, and spoiler again, they talk about meeting each other, and at the end there's like a huge bushfire, and they escape, and you know, Delilah's like, oh, we can finally meet, let's meet, for sure meet, we're definitely gonna see each other for sure, 100%, for sure. Then you make it all the way back to Delilah's lookout, and who do you see? Not her, not anyone. No one is there. You do not meet Delilah. Like, what? And then she's like, oh, sorry, Henry, I couldn't bear to see you, not after all the trauma that you've dumped on me, but, yeah, just, you know, all the conversations we've had, just embarrassing, you know what I mean? Like, oh. So, I don't know what happened with her, but she left, and she didn't want to meet, so we never saw what she looked like, which was disappointing. Anyway, that's, I'm so glad that that's not what happens in Fire Tower. Fire Tower is like the alternate? Yeah, the alternate version of Firewatch. It's like if Firewatch was better. Because I'm up to, spoilers, if you want to listen to Fire Tower. I'm like halfway between, I think it's season 2 or 3, I don't know. But there's a bit where Henry and Delilah are not the names in this audio drama. Can't remember what the names are, but again, not great with names. They actually meet. The two fire lookouts people, they actually meet. I mean, it's not as wholesome as it could be, but do you know what? In the circumstances that they are under, it all makes sense as to why it's not wholesome. God, it's so good. The thing I love about audio dramas is that obviously it's like actually acting, like it's voice acting, and then people in like a sound booth just reading off a script and doing the acting, and then you've got to put in sound effects to make scenes kind of come alive, I guess. Like you got to put in like footsteps, you've got to, if it's outside, maybe like a few bird noises or like wind noises, or like it's a whole thing, you know, like it's so great. Everything about it I just love, because you know, in, you know, Netflix shows, sure, they might put in sound effects for like footsteps and stuff like that. Well, do they put in wind sound effects as well, or I don't know. It's very intriguing, these audio dramas, and I cannot, just like with, watching a Netflix show or TV show or like a movie or whatever, for some reason, even though it's an audio drama, I can't walk around doing stuff. It doesn't, like, I'm not listening to it then, if that makes sense. Like, I can't, I don't know, do chores or something while I listen to it. I've just got to stay seated, enjoy the drama in which it is unfolding. Like, I think in some audiobooks they kind of do that, in that they put sound effects in a little bit. I think audio dramas, underrated. If any of you guys listen to any audio dramas, please let me know. Let me know what you guys listen to. Tell me your favourites in the comments. I'd love to know. If you've got any, like, recommendations for me. I love a good mystery. Love a good, like, investigation. If there is, like, a horror, like, audio drama, that would be awesome. I haven't come across any. I haven't really searched that much. But yeah, if any of you guys listen to any audio dramas, let me know. Leave your recommendations and suggestions in the comments, and I'll tell you what I think of them. But yeah, because I'm always wanting to listen to some more. I was playing Firewatch, in which you can see the playthrough on my Patreon. So I was playing Firewatch, and oh boy, I was getting so lost, and it made me realise that I'm not, like, a huge fan of kind of, I don't know, just walking around. Like, in Dragon's Dogma, you have to, there's no fast travel in Dragon's Dogma. You have to just travel by foot around the map, or in, I think, the second game, you can catch a ride on someone's trailer or something. But essentially, you just gotta walk around the entire map. And I mean, in Dragon's Dogma, you can buy kind of fast travel, like, little ball things, but they just last one time. Like, you use it one time, and then it's like, you gotta buy another one, and it's a whole, like, ordeal, But yeah, I was just, like, thinking as I was playing Firewatch, is that, I'm just walking around, kind of the map and getting lost, and I know the whole thing is that you're walking around the forest, and that's meant to be a whole experience in itself. But it just made me more conscious that I'm not great at orienteering, and that I can't follow a compass and a map, apparently. But yeah, like, it kind of infuriated me. Like, obviously this is not the game's fault, it's, user issue. But yeah, so as I was playing Firewatch, I noticed that when I got so lost, the music would just go away. Like, there would be no music, like, so silent, dead silent, and that's how you know that you're lost, when there's no music, no atmosphere, not even, like, wind, literally nothing at all. So yeah, I'm like, oh, it's so annoying, because it took me out of the experience. I mean, once again, I said all of this at the end of my playthrough, but yeah, I just wish that there was like a fast travel in Firewatch, but yeah, I don't know, it was bit of an experience, but I think in saying that I wish that there was fast travel in Firewatch, I think that would have been a whole different game altogether if that was the case. Yeah, I think the whole point of that particular game is that it's a forest and you're meant to explore the environment, and if there was fast travel, you might miss some of that stuff, you know? Like I made a mention that I wish that some of the caches, whatever they were fast travel points, but yeah, I think you would have missed half of the stuff in the story, or you wouldn't have come across the cave or just anything really. But yeah, yeah, I guess I'm just like, because I'm watching like people's playthroughs of just any game, and I know a lot of games have where you gotta like walk around the map, but like, I don't know, I think just walking, when the story was like, okay, get to this point in time, and it's like, oh, okay, well, where is that? And it's like over the other side of the map, and it's like, oh my god, and there's nothing you do between those times, which I think that's Dragon's Dogma, you know, like people say, oh, can you go find this person for me? And it's like, sure thing, and that person's across the map, and you got to walk across the map to find them, and then there's nothing you do during that time except just travel by foot to the other part of the map, and it's just like so tedious, you know. And then you got to walk all the way back to that person. I mean, luckily sometimes they're like, here's a fast travel point for you, we'll take you back, and it's like, oh my god, thank god. But yeah, that's what like really took me out of that game. But yeah, but I think some games kind of do it well, where they just distract you along the way with like enemies, or you gotta find little collection points, little collection items, I guess. And yeah, so I think that's like a good in between. I mean, I suppose you could say in Dragon's Dogma that there's enemies, you know, that you gotta fight, but you know, they're everywhere. And then you have giant enemies like dragons, and maybe I just like get bored too easy. I don't know. There are so many spoopy games that I want to play for the spoopy tier on my Patreon, and the spoopy games consist of Until Dawn, the remake / remaster / updated version. Don't know. Anyway, I haven't actually played the original. I don't actually know. I kind of know what the storyline is. I've watched a ton of playthroughs of people playing the original, and I know, you know, some of the fun memes. Personally, I haven't played the original of Until Dawn. I have heard that in the remaster, remake, updated version, there are new cutscenes, there are new endings, and just like new little bits and bobs in the game, is what I've heard. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the original Until Dawn. If there's like any soundtrack that's a bit different, I most likely wouldn't pick up on it because I haven't played the original. I don't know why Until Dawn was originally PlayStation exclusive, because it's Dark Pictures, that's the kind of company, I think, and they made all the other ones that are similar to Until Dawn, and they're on PC, so it's good that they've now put it onto PC. It, fluctuates between mixed and mostly positive reviews on Steam. I just want to play it for the funsies, just for the fun experience of horror. I'm excited to play it. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but I will. And it will go up on my Patreon, so please go onto my Patreon. Yeah, so please go to my Patreon, become a member. Become a member of the spoopy tier if you're into spoopy games, and it will be a very fun time. It'll be just like, hanging out with your friend me. I'm your friend. I have realized that every single time I come back from a hiatus of my podcast, I gotta start with an episode that's just all over the shop. No consistency, no kind of smoothness, I suppose. Chaotic, I guess. And I've always got to explain what I'm going to be doing in the future of the podcast. That is, I hope that it will be a bit more consistent, a bit more flowy. Each episode will be a bit more flowy. And then I'll have like topics that I want to talk about, topics that I want you guys to have a share on and feedback on the topic. Yeah, I think that would be really fun and interesting, and then I can read out those comments in the next episode. So it'd be like a community podcast, I guess. But yeah, so I think that's the kind of thing I want to do, and just do like consistent segments where I talk about a particular segment in each episode. In that regard, I want my episodes to be consistent, where there's like one continuous segment that I always bring back episode after episode, just for little like funsies. But yeah, I kind of want this like series of podcasts to be kind of like cozy, because I'm already playing a cozy game, Coral Island. That game is so much fun. I know it's obviously just a game, but guys, give me your honest opinion on how attractive Raj is. I mean, I feel like the developers knew what they were doing, And I'm like, I can't, because in Coral Island, it's similar to Stardew Valley in that you can marry someone, like hang out with them and stuff. But now I can't decide between Pablo and Raj, and I'm more heading towards Raj, because have you seen him? So, give me you guys' opinions. He's gonna be my number one. all of the way. He makes coffee. I bought a green tea from his shop and it like filled my health bar. So damn, he makes good drinks as well. But you can like hang out with, you know, your love interests for the day, have like dates. So looking forward to those. Can't wait to romance Raj. I feel like the reason I'm kind of doing my podcast the way I'm doing it is because personally I feel like I can listen more while I'm watching something. Like, I don't know, my brain is a bit more focused on what people / me are talking about when I'm like watching something. Also, I feel like it's kind of like a hangout thing where, you know, friends would come around and play video games of any sort, and then they'll just hang out and talk while they play video games. And I feel like that's the sort of vibe I'm sort of trying to emulate, because I don't have any friends. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think that's the kind of vibe I'm trying to go for in my podcast. Like I keep mentioning, I'm gonna have a bit more consistent upload, as well as consistent within the episode, so there's some formalities to it, so it's not just thought after thought after thought, not all over the shop, chaotic, you know, none of that. We don't want that. It's okay for the first episode, well, not first episode, but it's okay for the first episode after hiatus, that's allowed, but any other episodes further on, not so great. I want to try and have my episodes like a bit of an hour long, so I've really got to use my noggin to work out what to talk about for an hour. Really got to use my brain cells for that, but I'm sure it will be worth it in the long run, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. I don't actually know if this episode will be an hour long or not. I guess we'll see when it all gets cut down and edited. Probably not, but who's to say? The editing process is to say, really. Just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. Take a look on my Patreon, and I'll leave the link to my Patreon in the description below. Go check that out. Also, I've been leaving some shorts, not like ones that you put on, like YouTube shorts, on my channel. They're from the games that I've played on my Patreon. I've tried to edit the bits that I thought were a bit funny, or a bit like memey, I suppose, so then I could pop it on my shorts. My YouTube shorts. So if you haven't already seen those YouTube shorts, go check them out, because they're just a little preview of my Patreon and what you can expect. Yeah, they're just little like teasers, I suppose, for ya. Check them out. Feel free to just binge my YouTube channel if you really want. There's already a lot of videos on there. Can't list them all, it's just simply too many. But anyway, like I said earlier, I shall go, and thanks for tuning in. I don't know what the schedule will be like for my podcast. I don't know if it's going to be every day, every other day, every fortnight, I don't know. They will come out when they come out. If you don't already, just pop the bell on. Pop the YouTube bell on if YouTube still's got the bell, and you'll be notified when my podcast comes out, as well as other videos, as well as other gaming videos. And then you can watch them, be the very first person to watch the video, and then comment the classic first, because that's not been done ever before. No one has ever commented on anyone's video with the word first. It's brand new. I just made that up just now. See you guys in the next podcast or in the next video. I'll see you wherever I see you. Alrighty. Bye. Thanks for watching / listening. Don't really know how to end this podcast, but I'll figure it out. Okay, bye.